Welcome back to Two Movies, One Pod with your host, Em and Kinka. I'm Em.
I'm Kinka.
And on today's episode, we are discussing two musicals.
They are 2001's Moulin Rouge, directed by Baz Luhrmann, and starring Ewan McGregor, Nicole Kidman, and Richard Roxburgh is my educated guess on how to say his name.
And 2002's Chicago, directed by Rob Marshall, and starring Renee Zellweger, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Richard Gere.
Yeah, now these
These movies are movies.
These movies, they're interesting.
We always say that.
No, but like they seem to always be like considered in like the same vein. Like if you look one of them up on IMDb, like the next movie it'll show you is the other. So yep. I mean that's not inherently why we did the pairing. We're not that lazy. We don't just look on IMDb. But you know, I've seen Chicago before and I really, really liked it. So I wanted to do it, and then Moulin Rouge, you know, came out within a year. But the point, what I'm trying to say is that I was under the impression that these movies were similar.
Right, me too. Because like you said, like you always, those are like, because they're both like burlesque type movies. That's literally the only thing they have in common.
Yeah, and they're stylistic.
Oh, and they were made a year apart. Right, yeah, exactly. But like, they are nothing alike. Mm-hmm. They are very different, and
one of them is better than the other.
Yeah, and I wonder if you guys can guess what we're gonna say, because both of them have won a lot of awards. So it's shocking. It's so shocking. But I'm glad that we pretty much have the same ideas about one of them at least.
Yeah, it's interesting because Chicago started as a stage play, stage musical, what have you, and then was adapted into a movie. But with Moulin Rouge, it's the other way around, and that is interesting.
Yes, it's not a good thing.
So that makes me question Moulin Rouge even more, because it's like, this was original. They decided all these decisions. It's not like they were adapting something and it's like, well, this was just in the original, so it just like has to be here. No, they chose to do this.
It would make sense if they were adapting it from a play, because then you get it. Sometimes it doesn't translate well, but when it's a movie first, honey, you could have done anything and y'all decided to do that.
Yeah, when you make a movie, you can make anything.
Yes!
Anything.
It doesn't have to look like a freaking play. You know what I mean? Like, God. And that's what I thought. I thought this was a play first. And you were like, no, this is a movie. Like, for Moulin Rouge, I'm like, oh my God. Like, you would never guess.
Yeah. So let's dive a little deeper into Moulin Rouge. Let's justify our distaste, so to speak.
Yes.
It's just like, what the fuck? Like, it's okay. It's what they call a jukebox musical, which is not inherently bad. Like, you know, like I talked about it across the universe. I'm repping the Beatles today.
Yes.
Across the universe. That's why I wore it to make the connection.
Nice.
That I've only seen it once. So it may not be as good as I remember, but I remember it being pretty damn good. It
is.
And here's why I think it justifies itself as a jukebox musical across the universe, is because it's the Beatles music from the 60s, and it's a musical that uses the Beatles music from the 60s in a setting in the 60s. It's the music of its era, in its era. It's not like Moulin Rouge where they're singing, not Singing in the Rain, what the fuck's it called? The Sound of Music, like 40 years before it even happens. And they're singing Nirvana! They're singing Smells Like Teen Spirit in fucking France in 1899. And I got so mad.
I'm like fuming inside right now. I'm like silent because I'm so fucking pissed off about this. It does not. I want to scream. It does not fit. It does not fit.
It's not like clever.
How dare you?
Okay, maybe. Maybe in
fucking
2001 it was clever. Maybe. What? Smells Like Teen Spirit had been out for like not even 10 years at that point.
Oh, yeah, but to use it in a freaking 100 years before, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, that's what I
mean. The lyrics, the sheer simple of the song, it doesn't match with that timeline. It doesn't, like, the music choices in Moulin Rouge are fucking piss poor. And that one song that Christina Aguilera and all those ladies came out with to, like, market the fucking movie maybe was in the movie for 3 seconds. I swear to God. There was no, like, I was expecting Pink, whoever the fuck else is in the song, Christina Aguilera, all the ladies to come out and like have a cameo in the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh hell yeah, that'd be awesome. No,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The fucking Gitchy, yeah, that one.
Oh, that was made
song.
for this
yes.
movie? Wow, well, they did
and
not do a good job of conveying that.
Yes, we heard it for 3 seconds, and I'm like, that's it? That's what everybody, I'm spitting, I'm so fucking mad, but that's how I know that movie, because that song, that was like such a song and like a music video back in the day, and it wasn't even in there. You've got all these covers. I will say that one song, Come What May, in Moulin Rouge, absolutely beautiful. Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor killed it. So beautiful, really touched my heart. It was really giving like Phantom of the Opera vibes, like what's the one with what's his name? The remake with Gerard Butler.
Oh, I'm aware of it, but I've not seen it. No, I've not seen any Phantom of the Opera iterations.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, it's just like, I'm just saying, like, it's nice to have that romantic song. That was really, like I told you, the redeeming quality of that movie, and that one scene that we really liked. That actually fit in the fucking movie.
Yeah, was it Roxanne? Their version of that song?
Yes, we were making fun of it. Good. We were making fun of it at the beginning, but then they actually, they linked like another song into it, as musicals do, and it was actually really good. And we were like, damn, this is good. But anyways, I digress. I need to calm down because I'm fucking pissed.
The thing with the two leads, Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor, is like, they fell in love just because. Like, there was absolutely no reason for. First of all, when they first met, she was like borderline raping him. He was not there to have sex.
I didn't like that.
And she was throwing herself on him, pinning him down and shit. It was so unnecessary. And he was not into it. He was there to just read his little poetry. He's a poet. He's a writer. But no, now he's being raped. And then, I don't know. And then the next scene, they're singing longingly, looking at each other from across the road. It's like, what the fuck happened?
And they literally met that night. She tries to rape him. Then he's like, oh, I miss you and I love you. 30 minutes later, I'm like, sir, she just tried to have sex with you and now you want her? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it
pisses me off.
It's truly just, they are the two leads in a musical, therefore they have to be in love.
Right, that's it.
Just because you tell us two people are in love doesn't mean they are, when all their actions does not convey love.
Show that, right.
So that was just very frustrating.
So what was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
I'm gotten so off topic.
It was about the Moulin Rouge being a jukebox musical, that immediately takes you out of it. When you're watching something that takes place in 1899 France, and you have fucking, what's her name? Madonna fucking like a virgin. Like, that just... Oh
my fucking God,
it's just, like, that's not what's going on here.
It's so... And it was sung... No hate towards men. But it was sung by men who can't sing worth a fuck.
Yeah, two dudes.
It was so cringy. And I was just like, what a... This has really... Madonna would be upset.
Yeah.
Like, because the men in these movies, besides Ewan McGregor, cannot sing.
Yeah, they had that
cannot sing.
circus ringleader looking dude. And he's always like... Blah!
Oh yeah. It's just such random side characters that make no sense. We never figure out why John Leguizamo is the way he is in this movie.
Yeah.
We're just like, why are you like this in every movie? Yeah. Why are you the comedic relief in every movie?
Poor John Leguizamo. This is like our second or third movie with him now on this pod.
Yeah,
and
every
not
time.
good movies.
It's so cringe.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that it being a jukebox musical makes it worse. It really does a disservice to that movie. If that movie had its own soundtrack, would be so much better.
Yeah. Original music. There's like one? Did we deduce that there was like one original song? No, there's not even one.
I don't think so. I don't think that Come What May song that fits so perfectly. It is not an original song. None of these songs are original except for the fucking Gitchy Gitchy Ya Ya song that wasn't even in it.
Who the fuck? See this.
I'm sweating.
So am I. Baz Luhrmann. Who the fuck let him make movies? Okay, I know I'm upsetting people. I don't like
You're upsetting
him.
me.
I don't like his style.
Because the Elvis movie is great.
Well, I've not seen it, but you know why I haven't seen it? Because it's Baz Luhrmann. That's why I haven't seen Elvis. Because I know it's going to be some dumb shit. It's going to be like, hubba hubba, and then Doja Cat is singing, and there's fucking skyscrapers and shit.
I know. I get where you're coming from. And like I said, there was almost there's like a 20-year gap from the Elvis movie and this movie. And The Great Gatsby was like, 10 years ago, possibly. Mm-hmm. So I think this was just a fucking bomb. Even though it got awards and shit, this is not good.
I don't know. I agree that it's not good, but I disagree that it's an anomaly in Baz Luhrmann's filmography, because everything I've seen of his is in this vein where it's in the past, but they have, like in The Great Gatsby, they got the blasting Jay-Z in a roaring 20s house party.
I actually like that.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
I can't help it.
It just doesn't work to me. It's such a disconnect. Like, I understand if you're gonna do that, why not just make an adaptation of The Great Gatsby that takes place in modern times, like what he did with the Romeo and Juliet with DiCaprio, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't set that back in the fucking 1500s and have Eminem in it. No, right. He just set it in modern times. So I don't understand why.
It's to throw that like spice of like modern shit on it. But it works, in my opinion, in The Great Gatsby. It works in the Elvis movie, in my opinion. Because it just is so, like, that. Those movies are so sexy and fun. Moulin Rouge is a fucking, it ain't sexy at all.
Yeah, like, you remember the first, 20 minutes of it? Kinka,
I swear to God, I almost had a fucking anxiety attack. I was like, Kinka, I can't watch this.
I thought that I was dying when we were watching
I was like, did we just take acid or something? Like, what the fuck? It was scary.
Insane. And all the sound effects.
It felt like we jumped into a movie halfway. It was so fast paced. First of all, the whole movie is so fast paced. It's so, like, you cannot retain shit. Yeah. And that's why for like the first 45 minutes, I was like, so they're writing a play because the guy is like their investor pretty much. And you're like, yeah. And it was just like, it was confusing.
Yeah, we didn't even know what was happening till like it was almost concluded.
Yeah, and all these songs, all these mashed up of songs, and we're just like, I can't. I honestly can't. I will never fucking watch this movie again. This is down there. Okay, we need to get into the questions, but all I'll say is the first half of the movie is absolute dog shit. The second half of the movie was a redeeming quality. Wasn't great, but it was good. It finally started to like, I felt something for once, but the first half, I'm just like, okay, wait, what? Who is this? Wait, what are they? Why are they going? Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I'm just like, I can't.
No shot can last more than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking PowerPoint presentation. It's just, I don't know what the fuck is going on. You're showing, it's like a music hall with hundreds of people all dancing, and Mr. Luhrmann over here feels the need to have reaction shots of every single fucking person's face.
Every time someone takes a breath, there's a fucking reaction shot to it. It's like you know, like in other movies where like someone will be telling someone something very serious and they'll pause and it doesn't go to the other person, it still stays on that person because they're about to talk again. No, not this movie. If that person stops talking for 1 millisecond, it's cutting to the other person. They don't even have a reaction. They're just like
still there
because it's 1 second.
Yeah. It's like,
it doesn't make sense.
Remember I said this? I said Moulin Rouge is edited like a TikTok. Where it's just so rampant, it's we can't lose your attention. You know, I'm surprised Subway Surfers didn't like pop up in the middle of it and then you didn't see like someone cutting up clay or something. They just felt the need to hold our attention so desperately. Just anything. So oh, a squirrel ran by? Oh, look at that squirrel. Like, it's like a dog.
Yeah.
Just can't focus on a single thing.
The movie is from a point of view as a point of view of a dog. A dog watching these people like, huh? It's so ridiculous.
It's just insane.
But anyways, I'm glad I got that out. But I'm sure we'll be talking more about it. So in your opinion, Kinka, do you think that to bring up Chicago and Moulin Rouge, because we are talking about Chicago, even though we fucking love hating on Moulin Rouge, do you think that Chicago is a satirical story? And also, this is a two-parter, do you think Moulin Rouge takes itself too seriously?
I'll start with the Moulin Rouge aspect of that question. I don't know why I became like a southern little girl, but it's just like, it takes itself seriously, but it also is purposefully goofy somehow. Like I remember the dude, he spins, like he turns around and he spins like a fucking tornado and it's like, it's like when we are in VC spamming soundboards. That's what scenes in this movie are like.
Yes.
Like it's just like it's just people, they're just having a conversation. They're talking and then they're walking past somewhere and talking and then just while they're walking it's just like it's like
boing.
Yeah, boing.
That sound. Yeah.
It's like the Vine boom like just calm down. This is a movie. This isn't a Vine. This isn't a TikTok. This isn't a YouTube short. This is a movie. We don't need a noise every second to keep us entertained. So it's as goofy and as cheesy and as nonsensical as possible, but it's also super serious when it's like, oh, they're gonna shoot Ewan McGregor. It's like there's a tonal clash.
Oh my fucking god. The whole lore of that goddamn gun.
Oh my god, yeah, it goes flying into the fucking moon.
30 times it's flying in the air. I can't.
Anyways. Like what you said, like it goes full Phantom Manor, Phantom of the Opera. Right? So it's like super serious towards the end, but like the majority of the time it's just like a Scooby-Doo running sound effect.
It's so
there's such a disconnect.
Yeah, there's no reason for it at all. It's so it like we said, it's like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
It's like, why? This movie is supposed to be like romantic and funny, I guess. Like, and this is where we get to that point of, is this a fucking comedy? Because it's like they're trying to be funny, but none of it's funny. It's cringe.
Yeah, well, they got
it's
good old
weird. I don't.
John Leguizamo is trying to be funny with his fake nose. Are you sure that was a fake? I mean,
I swear to God, it's a fake nose.
Different color than his entire face, so I don't know. It was very odd.
And he talks weird again.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
for no reason.
He's like a turkey.
No reason. Always giving him some weird. Always giving him some weird ass like, accent, and it's like, just because the man can do good accents doesn't mean he should have one in every movie.
Yeah, and it's so odd with John.
And he's 3 foot tall as well.
Yeah, why was he so short? There's no reason for him to be that short. Like, they had actual dwarves, yes. I believe. They had actual dwarves in the movie. Yeah. But then they just had John Leguizamo that was like super short for no reason, and he wasn't portraying a dwarf. He just was short.
Just cause. Yeah.
Just cause.
For no reason. Yep.
So nonsensical. I'm surprised every time he wasn't on screen there wasn't like a boing 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 sound effect. I mean, there probably was for all I know.
Yeah.
But okay, so Chicago.
Yes.
Chicago is, to me, satirical, satirizing America, satirizing the court system, and satirizing the sensationalism around just journalism in America, really. How easy it is to manipulate journalists to get the masses on your side if you're a bad person. How easy it is to win over everybody when you're literally just like such a bad person, and you can get away with anything as long as you look good in the media's eyes. Mm-hmm. And it, that's a serious topic, but it's satirical in the way that it does it with like such a cheeky way, so to speak. Like, it's so clever, and it's very charming, and it shouldn't be, because it's just such despicable. The movie's just filled with such despicable people, and it's also not just satirizing all the stuff that I just said, but also Chicago, the city itself, because it's a rather corrupt city. Chicago, like, it has, I don't know, like, well, the Windy City isn't the nickname because it's corruptness, but it's just like known that it's just so. I mean, it's so corrupt. This was based on true stuff that happened in 1920s, and it was that corrupt, and it's like still that way. Like, it's just, I don't know. I heard it said before that Chicago is like the quintessential American story, which to me is equal parts kind of disconcerting, that this is like America. You watch this and being like, this is what America's about. This is what America is about. But it's also kind of true. Like, it's funny because it's true, almost. But yeah, so Chicago's satirical in a very enjoyable way, and Moulin Rouge is way too goofy yet way too serious. What do you think?
I agree.
You agree?
I agree 100%. Yeah, like, Chicago talks about, like, obviously serious shit that still happens, and, like, for fuck's sake, the Hungarian woman gets hung and is the first woman to get hung, and that's sad and scary and shit, but the way the movie is made, it's, like you said, so charming and, like, enjoyable to watch, even though it is talking about some serious ass shit, and Nicole Zellweger, or fucking
Renee Zellweger.
I'm sorry, I mixed Nicole Kidman and so Renee Zellweger and Catherine Zeta-Jones are criminals, but they're so awesome. Like, all the people look up to them. They are the moment. They want to be like them, So, and that's very much so true this day and age. Like, with celebrities and shit. It's like terrible people doing terrible shit, but people like just like the. Loosely how people, like not look up to, but like idolize serial killers in that same type of way, where like they glamorize, like, it's like, oh, you're beautiful and you're famous for this, but you're still a piece of shit, So I don't know. I really liked Chicago because of the way it was told. It was very charming, and Moulin Rouge just sucks ass. So,
Damn. Yeah, like Chicago.
That's all I have to say.
I mean, fair enough. It's just like the way that Chicago makes whatever the fuck Roxy Hart, that's her character's name.
Roxy, yeah.
How the movie makes Roxy Hart such a narcissist, so enjoyable to watch. Like,
exactly.
It's like the movie is also tricking you. It's like really, it's smart where it's like it's showing the media manipulation whilst manipulating you through media.
Exactly.
It's so acute. It's so aware of what it's doing, and it's so just smart.
I love that. I didn't think about that like that. That's actually very true, and we are the fucking people who are like, go Roxy! You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, to a degree. Like, when I first saw the movie, the part where she's, so I was about to bust out in singing, but no, like when she's singing, my name's gonna be everywhere, and I'm Roxy, and all that shit, like, that's, to me, that, first time I saw it, I took it as, like, that's the beginning of the end for her. She's flying too close to the sun.
Right.
She's getting too cocky, right? She's looking, in that musical set piece, everywhere she looks, there's mirrors. She's so narcissistic looking at herself, and she's like, I think she's above everything. Her name is gonna be everywhere. She's better than everyone. Everyone loves her, and in that song, she also says, like, I think she says, like, who knew murder was an art? Like, it's just, like, the movie so many times just straight up tells you what it's about. But not in a way where it's, like, beating you on the head and it's annoying. It's just very clever with it. So
exactly.
It's like that was the beginning of the end. Like, what? Because, you know, that was, like, her peak. You can only go down from the peak. So it's, like, it's not going to go good for her. And it doesn't, you know, at the end. At the end, it's right after her trial when she's found not guilty. Another woman murders her husband, like, right outside the courthouse. And she's already, like, last week's news. Already. Yep. The cycle has started again. And now it's time to be obsessed with someone else. And that's just so... Like, this movie was ahead of its time. Because, like, that...
Yeah.
I'm sure for the time, 1920s, that was exaggerated. But, like, now, that is just straight up what happens. Within 5 minutes of someone doing something, it's already on to the next person. Literally, there is no moment to breathe nowadays. And it's just the best way to go about it is to just not engage.
Yeah.
Truly.
Exactly.
Like, it's just so crazy.
I hate that society is like that. I fucking hate trends. I hate shit like that because it's so fleeting. It truly doesn't mean anything. That's why I like to wear whatever the fuck I want. Wear shit that looks like I walked out of 2002 and I don't give a fuck. You know, because that shit's coming back now. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Trends are so shitty. Popularity doesn't mean anything because it's all fleeting. It really doesn't mean anything. So I really like that movie tells that story.
Yeah, it's just, if you play the media game, it's never going to go your way because you cannot be in the spotlight forever. It's just not how it works. You will be replaced. You will be forgotten, and no one will care about you. You're treated as a commodity. That's a word, right? You're just treated as like a commodity. You're just someone to look at for a little bit. No one thinks of you as a human when you're in that machine. You're just gotten rid of when you're not making enough money anymore. Okay, well, you don't matter anymore. We'll get the next person. And it's crazy to know that, like, that is just been happening for like 100 years, probably even more in our country. Like they had fucking newsboys saying, Mister, read all about it in this movie. Like, that's how far back this shit went.
Yeah. And it's still like that now. Just on digital,
just accelerated, multiplied by, like, so much. You know, I was touching on it quite a bit there, but, like, you know, Chicago takes place roughly 100 years ago. Like, Chicago is based on real events, real murders, I suppose, that happened in 1924. So it's basically 100. You know, things didn't change that much. So things didn't change so quick. So it was pretty much 100 years ago back then. So, you know, how much has the culture changed since then, and how much things have stayed the same? Like, I know I kind of talked about that a lot, but I want your take on it.
So I definitely think, you know, we talked about this when we were watching it, that, like, you know, women were not really as important back then. And, you know, we even said, like, you know, what did you say? How did you word it? Like, about, like, you weren't like really looked at or taken seriously if you didn't have a husband. Like, you were not a woman. Yeah, like, if you weren't married, and
almost didn't count as a person. Like, a woman had to be attached to a man to even be worthy of
taking seriously.
Yeah.
Right. So that has obviously changed in some ways, you know. I still think society looks at women being single in their 30s or 40s or whatever as, like, a bad thing. I've seen plenty of reels and shit that have proven that theory, and I'm just like, that's really shitty. You know, like, God forbid women are by themselves and want to work and just chill and not have babies, not have a fucking husband or raise and take care of. You know, like, I definitely think that that touches on it. I don't know. I feel like you know, people still be killing their husbands and shit. That happens a lot. And, like, see, that's where it goes back to the last question, that, like, obviously that's a bad thing and that happens now, but like back then it's like I kind of don't fucking blame them at that point because times were hard, you know, like it's just, the whole world was so different back then and women really had it hard. So it's like I get why they were going crazy and killing their fucking husbands, like fuck, you know.
When there was a lot less
but,
like once a woman was in a marriage, like that's just how it would be for the rest of her life. There was no
you'd have
out.
to just deal with it. There was no way out. So maybe that's why women felt that they had to kill their husband or whatever they had to do, you know, like there was no way out and they thought they could get away with it. Obviously now, you know, divorce is so common, but yeah, so it's really about the whole thing, in my opinion, with like the women's rights of like how, you know, you just deal with it. Back then you don't have a voice, you really don't have, you just deal with your fucking husband. If you don't like him, go cheat on him, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. At that point, that's what they all did, it looks like, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, you can add to that. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, yeah, it's just, you know, there's so much. It's like as much as things changed, some aspects are the same. It's, you know, like 1 foot forward, 2 steps back type thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, outside of just women's rights, women's issues, like, you know, like I ranted about earlier, the culture of just sensationalism in media, but also, like, specifically in courts. Like...
yeah, oh my god, I forgot about that. Holy shit.
Like, it rings so true nowadays, where court is just a place where you can get people on your side. It's not, you know... I never thought that court was like this holy place where it's like you will truly be decided innocent or guilty, but like it's not. Maybe at one point it was that, but whatever it used to be, it's now just a place to you know, get fucking Twitter followers, so you can like go on the fucking Daily Wire and sell merch or some shit. Like it's just court is a place to be a piece of shit and to have fellow pieces of shit like you. So you can do piece of shit. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just the way that this movie, you know, portrayed court, where it's a circus, and if you just tap dance enough, you know, people will like you. Exactly. It's just a show. Like, it's, as, you know, it's intentional. It's not an accident that, you know, mm-hmm. A lot of the movie is about show business and being on the stage, and also about court, because it's more or less the same thing. Being on stage and being in court are the same thing. On. You have to put on a performance in court. Pretty much acting. You're literally acting when you're in court. Mm-hmm. And it's just whatever the audience wants. Your audience is the jury. And you just do what you want. Like, in just the way, I love the way that the lawyer was portrayed. What's his name again? Billy, I think. Richard Gere's character, the lawyer. He's just such a scumbag, and it's just so enjoyable to watch. Like, when he's introduced, his music number, when he's introduced, it's like about how all he cares about is love, and it's all it's showing that musical number, and then it's cutting to real life as well, where he just says $5,000. All you are to me is $5,000. Give that to me, and then I'll help you. It's just such a enjoyable contrast, and that is a whole nother topic about, you know, how Roxy, you know, all of, if not most of, if not all of the musical numbers are like in Roxy's head. She's like delusional. She's like a out of touch delusional narcissist. It's like what she wants to happen. It's her fantasy. Yeah, she has such a skewed imagination, and all the musical pieces, for the most part, are like of the perspective of like in her head. So like seeing it, you know, when she first hears about this lawyer in her head, she's just he's this wonderful, lovely guy that only cares about fixing your issues. He's all about helping women and everything, and then he's just a complete scumbag that just wants the money, and he'll just lie. He'll do whatever he needs to earn his money, but not like in a respectable way. And just it's so clever, the framing of the disconnect between the musical numbers and what's really going on. It strengthens the delusion that Roxy has. It really just shows you how messed up the things are, how everything is, and it's just so smart.
I agree.
Then you got Moulin Rouge over here, which is doing nothing. It's doing nothing, and it is nothing. It's just
so surface
Madonna.
level.
It's just fucking Nirvana. It's doing
It's just
nothing.
it's so like I said, surface level, fast paced, absolute no like deeper meaning behind it. It's so
it's no substance.
So pointless. Yeah, it's pointless romance. It's so it like I don't even like. It was sad when spoiler alert, when Nicole Kidman dies in Ewan McGregor's arms. That's sad in any fucking movie.
I don't even
but
remember
besides that, I'm like, you weren't watching. You were on your phone.
No, I was watching.
But you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
But anyways, it's not giving Titanic. It's not giving anything. It's just so I can't. I can't.
Nothing. It's just, I don't know. Like, why? Just, I can't
I'm like
think
out
of a reason.
words at this point.
Yeah, it's just, especially just, this is why I'm so confused that Moulin Rouge and Chicago are spoke about in the same vein. Because Chicago is, like, masterful, so well made, and, like, criticizes and satirizes so many aspects of America, the entire nation. And then Moulin Rouge is like Nirvana, but it's 1899.
Yeah. It's so out of touch and so, like, I hate it.
Yeah, well, on its own, maybe it could be something, but just looking at it as well as looking at Chicago, it's just, the movie stands no chance. I almost feel bad for Moulin Rouge because it's talked about in the same vein as Chicago.
I don't get why. I don't get why it's so like critically acclaimed, so highly praised. It's good, but it's like not that fucking good. Where like I thought we were gonna like it. I was like, oh yeah. I mean, everyone's always talked about Moulin Rouge, and then you see it and you're just like, is this the same fucking movie?
Yeah.
Like what?
Did we click the wrong thing on Hulu?
Yeah, for real.
It was just crazy. It was just nonsense. Yeah. Nonsense. None of it made sense. It was nonsense.
Right.
It sucked.
So I have a question for you.
You do?
Yeah, I do. It's a really good one.
Whoa.
This is a good question in my opinion. I think it's a really good one. Do you think the cast of each respective movie makes the movies better, or does it not help?
Well, with Chicago, yeah, the cast is so good in that movie. These people in this movie worked their asses off. They did everything.
Yeah,
they did the singing, they did the dancing. They got ripped as fuck.
Yeah, they did.
Like some people, outside of the main cast, like in the really great musical number with all the murderesses singing, why they did what they did. Some of them, they I feel like that was bad. Some of them were way too skinny. Like,
oh yeah, well it was
scary.
2001, or 2002, and skinny. That was the thing back then. Like, not like anorexia, but like crash dieting. What was the one? Anna Nicole Smith did. That all those toxic, crazy fucking diets. That was the thing back then, to be skinny as fuck. So it makes sense.
Yeah, but that I think is just a problem with, because I assume this is me assuming, but Rob Marshall, this was his first movie that he directed, if you didn't know, and he was from Broadway. He had worked in Broadway and then he directed this. So my guess is that pretty much all of the dancers in those movies outside of the main cast were from Broadway. And
they were already so skinny.
Yeah, and that's just kind of a problem with Broadway at large. Like everything, documentaries that I've seen of behind the scenes of Broadway, these dancers are just so unhealthily skinny that if there was a gust of wind, they'd be gone. It's just not good.
Yeah.
It's really not
Yeah.
good, but it's like what
Yeah.
they want in Broadway. I don't know if that's the case anymore, but back then it was not good.
Yeah.
But so, that's kind of a tangent, but like Richard Gere, he did that tap dancing in the court scene. He learned how to tap dance for it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
God, that's amazing. And I mean, I knew Catherine Zeta-Jones can sing, but I had no idea all of them could dance. I didn't know Renee Zellweger could sing.
I know.
I'm like, oh my God, like you're a great
It's
singer.
crazy.
This is amazing.
And
yeah.
For me personally, this is odd because, Renee Zellweger, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Richard Gere, I don't think I've seen anything else that they're in. I think I've only seen this
Really?
movie. So it's like, this is just how they are to me. Like,
Wow.
these people are just fucking insane.
They're such good actors. We should watch more of their movies.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel when I look up pictures of Catherine Zeta-Jones, I feel like she just doesn't look anything like how she does in this movie. I feel like everyone in this movie just looks completely different than how they do in most other things. It's so odd. Like, this is such a...
Yeah, I mean, it's the hairstyles and
it's
shit,
the 20s,
but...
I guess.
Yeah. And it is, 20 years ago, so...
That's true. Well,
But
yeah.
everyone looks the same to me. Richard Gere looks the same. I don't know. I think... But, I mean, obviously, Renee Zellweger looks a lot different because she's gotten a lot of work done, in the
she's
past
doing
20
her
years,
thing.
so...
Oh, and how did we forget about Queen Latifah? My God, Queen
Oh,
Latifah. She was
my
so good in
God.
this. So good.
She's so awesome. She's great in everything almost.
Yeah.
Especially if she's singing, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I love her.
She fits so well in this roaring 20s burlesque vibe.
She does.
Her song was
Yeah.
so good in this movie. So good. So good. Pretty much every song is so fucking good in this movie. This is such a fucking good movie. Such a good musical, okay? It's so
It really
good.
is.
So good.
I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think about Moulin Rouge?
People, they were just there in Moulin Rouge. Like, I don't know. They were fine. They were just doing their thing. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I guess they sung good. I guess. They were just doing their thing.
Yeah.
It's just unremarkable overall. I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. They did fine. Was it them singing? Do you know? Was it Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman?
Yes.
Were they actually singing?
Yes.
Okay, well, good for them,
Yes,
I guess.
it was.
But Renee
I
Zellweger
could
and Catherine
tell.
Jones and Richard Gere did it all better in Chicago, singing as well.
They did.
But, well,
They
it's
did.
just it's not as energetic. Moulin Rouge, like the musical sequences, like they're just kind of pacing back and forth, looking longingly. But in Chicago, they're fucking going. They're busting their asses. They are going off in Chicago.
They're
It
going.
is insane.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm pretty sure that Catherine Zeta-Jones won an Oscar for her role.
She fucking better. She's amazing in this
Yeah.
movie. So if you want my opinion,
Yeah, please.
I totally agree. I think I was, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised with Renee Zellweger. I was so shocked. I was like, wow, like this might be my favorite movie of hers. And I had no idea Richard Gere, could sing or dance. Like it was all so classy. Even like the background dancers were, obviously they're probably, like you said, from Broadway. So crisp. The movie was so fucking good, and you can tell they put so much work into that movie, learning the songs, singing, perfecting. With Moulin Rouge, it did not feel that way. It felt so like hastily put together and like
Hectic.
just very hectic and like very loose and like just not tight, not crisp, not like practiced. It was very just like the one scene that stands out for me, and I know I'm talking about the cast, but I wanted to point this out, that do you remember when they're trying to convince the Duke that like the play and shit, and they're singing, like all of them, all the fucking people are singing, even the they're all together singing, making up this play to convince him. I'm like, who thought of this? Who thought of this? And even in the fucking Roxanne part, it's so, the people are so god fucking random. They're so random, and they're so, it's just that they are not physically appealing. No, you know, they don't look as good. I don't know, maybe it's like the color palette, the lighting in that movie is not as good, in my opinion. Moulin Rouge.
I mean, yeah, that's fair to say for sure.
It's so weird, and I fucking hate it. But anyways, Nicole Kidman, I love ya. You're great. You're a great actress. You're a good singer. Ewan McGregor, love to always see him act and sing. That's great. Everyone and everything else, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Absolutely forgettable. I don't give a shit. It was terrible. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I think what kind of sets the two apart, like what you said, it's just Moulin Rouge is just kind of ugly. And I think how many cuts there are, I know I ranted about that earlier, but that really does affect. It really does. Affects, like, what, because, you know, you think about Chicago, like a lot of it, you know, the musical numbers and all the dancing, a lot of it is just long takes. There's not very many cuts.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you know, they're just dancing on a stage, and it's just a camera pointed at the stage. And it's so much easier to soak up everything and to understand what the fuck is going on.
Yes.
And it's just, I don't mean to belittle Baz Luhrmann, but like, such rampant cutting is somewhat indicative of quality and know-how.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Like, a really masterful director can do a lot with one shot. With all you need is one shot.
We always talk about that. We're like, holy shit, was that one take? I do that in movies all the time. I'm like, oh my God, that entire scene was one take. Like, it's so impressive when movies do that, you know? But when you have too many takes or cuts, it's just like, it takes the, not professionalism, but like it takes the meaning out of that fucking scene.
Yeah,
it completely takes the like thing out of it, and you're just like,
yeah, it's like it's hard to be emotional when it's like,
yes,
it's just like, yes, it feels like you're being shaken around. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? I can't feel emotion. I'm looking here, I'm looking here, I'm looking here, I'm looking here, I'm looking here. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Exactly. That's exactly how it felt.
Like, it just feels like
someone's
just like,
yeah.
Are you feeling emotion right now?
Yeah.
I'm staying like this. I'm not changing.
So crazy. Yeah, I totally agree that it. Oh my God.
Like the Blair Witch Project, but a musical.
Yes, it is. Everything is like the Blair Witch Project to you. I swear to God.
Well, I mean, yeah, even though I've not even seen it. I lied. I'm fixing my hair.
Yeah. But yeah, I have no idea what we were saying. Yeah, just that Moulin Rouge, the cuts, it really does take away from the, like, seriousness of the movie. It makes it so, like you said, it's like a goddamn TikTok. It's like, oh, like, this sucks.
Yeah, it's ahead of its time in an unfortunate way.
Yeah, it is, right? They're like, in 22 years, this is how people will be filming with their cell phones. Quick fucking takes that you can't fucking pay attention to, so you gotta watch it twice, type thing.
I'll never watch that again. I don't know. I just became Elvis. So like, Baz Luhrmann's affecting me.
Oh my God.
It's just Baz Luhrmann. My God. I can't with him. He's so insane.
Yeah.
It's just too much for as long as his movies are too. Like Elvis was like what 2.5 hours. And like,
well, you know,
Great
that
Gatsby.
was warranted. I fucking love that movie. I cried my fucking eyes out. But you know what? That's different because Elvis was an actual person. That was a story of his life. And it was so good. You know what I mean? Like, that's warranted, I feel like. Yeah. But with this is just like...
random shit.
It's just so, I'm telling you, if anybody watches this fucking movie, or if you have seen this movie, please try to tell me and explain why was the beginning the way it was. Any reason, just tell me why. Why?
Explain why it's good. If you like it, please not justify yourself, but justify the movie. Please let us know
please tell us
what we're missing here.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes, exactly. What are we not seeing that everybody else is like, oh, Moulin Rouge is so good. We're just like, no, the fuck it's not. Like, and it's like a consensus between us. We're just like, we both think this is terrible. Yeah, this is not just a me thing.
10 minutes in, we had to pause and be like, we're both experiencing the same thing right now, right?
Yeah. I know. I was like, Kinka, I don't think I can do this today. Like, I'm not doing good right now. Like, this is not good. Yeah, and but we hung through.
Even on IMDb, Moulin Rouge is rated higher than Chicago.
That is such a fucking insult to Chicago.
You know, I had a feeling that was confirmed. I looked at recent ratings of Chicago because I just knew what I would see, and I hate that I was wrong, but it's just so funny. It's woke. It's anti-man. It's all about women killing men. It's misandrist.
So what is Moulin Rouge? See, that's exactly what I'm saying. And you know what? I don't give a shit if I offend anybody. This is exactly how society is that in Moulin Rouge, there's a woman trying to rape a man, and guys think that's okay sometimes. A lot of guys are like, oh, that's cool.
I wish that happened to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, it's still not okay. It's still not okay.
Rape is rape. It doesn't matter who the fuck is initiating it.
Exactly. So it's funny how people are like, oh, it's anti-man, Chicago is. Oh, really? Oh, so Moulin Rouge is not because the woman's raping the guy. Okay, got it.
But even just
fucking stupid.
Moulin Rouge is just fucking annoying. Like, Nicole Kidman is such like a ditzy character. Like, just like a... what's manic pixie dream girl almost.
Yeah.
Like she's just like
very unhinged.
Ooh, I want to have sex with every man that I'm in a room alone with. Oh, and also I'm dying slowly.
So gross.
Like it's just the trope of just
and
dead
constantly
wife.
fainting.
Like, you know, it's always a man looking at a picture of his dead wife longingly. Like she is that dead wife. It's so annoying.
It really is.
And it's just it's doing nothing.
She has no like character depth or development, and at least like, you know, at least Renee Zellweger was like somewhat of a floozy, but like she has depth. It focuses on her more. Like, how the fuck do we have more understanding and lore and depth with multiple characters in Chicago? And then we don't even fucking understand the two main characters in freaking Moulin Rouge. You know what I mean? It's storytelling. It's the way the story was told and the directing and this.
Conveyed. It was conveyed so poorly in Moulin Rouge. Being a jukebox musical took priority over telling a sensical story in Moulin Rouge. Yeah. Just playing playing popular songs was more important in Moulin Rouge than being a movie. And it's just such a stupid storyline in Moulin Rouge where it's just the wealthy guy just trying to essentially buy Nicole Kidman as a wife. Right? It's just such a... I mean, I guess it's warranted for 1899. I guess that would happen, but it's just so... A love triangle. Just, I'm so fucking sick of love triangles.
Yeah, it's so fucking told. Bro, we had this in Titanic. Sit the fuck down.
Yeah, it's a lot
You know, Ewan McGregor is fucking Jack. Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, Jack.
Sorry, I'm kidding.
Yeah? Oh my god, I thought you were being serious. I was like, alright, we've got to stop this podcast. No, I can't with you. But yeah, and then you've got Billy Zane as, the rich guy. Yeah. I fucking love him. But and then of course you have the fucking main character redhead who's conflicted, you know? Oh my god. Yeah. They literally just copied Titanic. Yeah, that's all they did.
It's also a lot like fucking, it's even more so actually like Shakespeare in Love.
Oh,
because
okay.
Shakespeare's a writer. Ewan McGregor's a writer, and then I don't know. He likes Gwyneth Paltrow because she exists. It's just movies need to do a better job about explaining why characters are in love. Just people existing isn't enough for love. We need chemistry. We need reasons.
Exactly.
We need this person is this way. This person is this way, and they are good for each other and they love each other.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sorry. With the love thing between Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor, it was so like weird. It just like I was like, does she actually love him? Are they just hooking up? And then he was like jealous, and I'm like, this is weird. It
Not
didn't
healthy.
feel genuine. It didn't feel genuine at all. It
Yeah.
didn't feel. And honestly, I like that Chicago doesn't have a love story. Like no, it doesn't. It's literally about these women trying to get the fuck out and be famous and do what they want to do. I like that. I like that there was no love story. I mean, obviously in the beginning, right? Nicole, fucking Renee Zellweger kills the guy that I love, whatever the fuck his name is in the movie, but that's it. Like, and she doesn't even want her husband. I like that there's no love triangle. That's so tired and played out. That's what I said with Knives Out. I said, I'm glad that Benoit Blanc is fucking gay. I'm glad that he's not trying to hook up with someone, because I don't want the love. I don't want that. I like other things besides that. It's refreshing.
I hate love.
Yeah, I fucking do. Oh, God. But you know what I mean. It's just so tired and played out. Love story. I'm so over it.
And it's just like, it's like the easiest thing to do. But at the same time, they don't even do it well. So is it easy to do if you're fucking it up? I don't know.
Exactly.
I really don't know. Like,
Exactly.
it's just Chicago. Yeah, it's just a love triangle, a love story just wouldn't fit Chicago in any way. It's about people that like are just so narcissistic. They don't feel love. The only love they have is for themselves. They think they're owed the world, and they'll manipulate, they'll kill, they'll do anything they need to get on the stage. So
I love it.
Yeah, love. There you go. But yeah, man, fucking Moulin Rouge. So just, man. And Baz Luhrmann, he made the Romeo and Juliet movie before this, right? That was like in the 90s, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
So, Kinka, both movies have a similar style, but which one uses the style more effectively?
Yeah, but this is the thing. I think this is why people associate the two movies, is because they do have a somewhat similar style. Like, okay, they're both musicals came out close to each other, and they're a bit zany. They're a bit out there. Like, there's parts in Chicago where there is a lot of cutting, but it's like, showing you things that actually matter.
Exactly. It's done really well.
And it's, the musical pieces. Here's the similarities in style that I would say. Like the imaginative, outlandish musical pieces in Chicago, that aspect of the movie is what all of Moulin Rouge is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like the part they both reached for the gun, that musical piece where like they're all ventriloquist dolls or dummies in Chicago. Like that is just all of Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, it's absolutely so chaotic and like in Chicago. Sorry to cut you off. I just have to say this. In Chicago, it's done so well. You understand. They are like puppets. They do what he says, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. She takes advice of the lawyer. The journalists are puppets. If Moulin Rouge did that, we'd be like, what the fuck are we watching? Like, it wouldn't make sense. It doesn't translate well.
Yeah, Moulin Rouge is like the surface level version of that, where it's just using the aesthetic, but it's doing nothing. It's not saying anything. It's just using a similar aesthetic and doing nothing, saying nothing, being nothing. It's just this looks cool. Let's do it. I'm Baz Luhrmann. Hello, everybody. It's just. Chicago is just like, there's so many layers and there's so many aspects to Chicago that is just so fucking good. And Moulin Rouge is kind of similar style, and that's just about it. So it's like on the most shallow, on the most surface level, they have similar style. But if you just pay the slightest attention to both of them, you'll see that there's nothing there with Moulin Rouge, and there's about like 10 layers of critique and satire in Chicago.
Yeah, it's just like colors and costumes and set design in Moulin Rouge, because we did say, oh wow, especially Nicole Kidman's dressing room, we were like, holy shit, that's like very beautiful, like, you know, and they won awards for their costumes and their set design. So it's nice and it's cool and pretty, it looks good, but there's no depth, there's no story behind it, and it's just like, this is the same old fucking shit, you know, like, and that's why you can't like love the characters as much as you could if, you know, as much as you do in Chicago. Like, even though they're bad, I still love them more than I love them in Moulin Rouge, you know?
Yeah,
like,
they're just
more likable. Yeah, they're
them.
fun. Exactly. They're not forgettable, but like everybody in Moulin Rouge was literally just a fucking extra, unless it was the 2 people, 3 people maybe. Everybody was just so forgettable and pointless.
Mm-hmm. No reason.
In my opinion.
No reason,
yeah, no
for
rhyme or
Moulin Rouge
reason.
to fucking exist. It's just nothing.
So
I'm gonna fucking like cry. This movie is just so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I just question it. Maybe they caught wind that Chicago was happening and they wanted to, you know, get ahead of it, so they made a similar movie quickly and then released it a little bit before Chicago.
That's what it feels like. That's exactly what this feels like. Here, let me look up what month.
Yeah, because, you know, they do that like with you know, it's A Bug's Life and Ants, you know, DreamWorks caught wind that Pixar was making A Bug's Life, so then they quickly turned around Ants and then released it before Bug's Life to try to be like, we did it first, actually.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And, you know, it's just...
Okay, here we go. So... Oh, okay. It was released in theaters. Moulin Rouge was in May of 2001, and Chicago was December 2022. So, I mean, they may have caught wind of it and just... Yeah. So it was like a whole year.
You said 22. You said 2022.
Oh, okay. 2002. It's weird saying that, you know. But either way.
So about
like a year, but but you gotta film, you gotta talk about the movie, you know. So if someone probably caught wind of it and was like, this is our time. Let's fucking make this movie.
Yeah, smoking a big cigar. We gotta do this, kid. We gotta make a movie just like Chicago. We'll be on the top. We'll win all the awards. I mean, I imagine it because I imagine Chicago took like 3 years to make. Because that's such an undertaking.
It shows that people had to learn and stuff. Yeah, so it makes sense why, but... And that's what happens, kids, when you fucking make a movie and you take your time and you don't rush the shit and everybody learns how to do their own stunts and dance and shit. But then when you get Moulin Rouge, no one's doing anything. A whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, just acting.
When there was dancing in Moulin Rouge, you know, it was good, I guess, but it was very basic. It was just... Yeah,
it was just people lifting people up.
Yeah, there was nothing too
what?
crazy.
I will say, in the Roxanne part, there was a lot of extras. You know, a lot of backup dancers, you know, whatever the fuck, dancing. But it's like, I don't give a fuck about them, you know? Or like, you have the burlesque dancers at the beginning dancing when Nicole Kidman's around. They were honestly annoying as shit. Yeah. I wish they weren't there. It's just I can't. And then you have in Chicago, you know, that one scene where the women are telling their crimes and they're singing that little song. It's enjoyable. It actually gives characters we never see again a backstory. It's nice. It's so good. I'm like, wow, I just learned something about someone that doesn't matter, but it makes them like more, it humanizes them. It makes them more enjoyable. But then when you've got these random burlesque dancers that you'll never see again, you're like, what are you doing taking up space in this shot?
Yeah.
Like, it just, I can't.
It's
I
like,
can't.
They thought with Moulin Rouge that the more people that are in a shot, the better the
Yes.
movie is or
Yes.
something. I don't know.
Yes. And all it did was water it down.
Just
It didn't
overwhelming.
Yeah, it was like just, oh my God, yeah. There's so many people all of the time. But then when you focus on, I don't know. I just can't. Their movies just aren't comparable. They're not the same at all, in my opinion. And one is way better than the other.
Yeah, so, well, the question, which do you prefer, I think, answers itself, doesn't it?
Yes, I prefer Chicago all 100%. And I was very pleased at how good it was. I had no idea that it was going to be so great.
Yeah, likewise. When I first saw it, I thought it was like in the same vein as like, what's it called? Philadelphia? That's a movie, right? With Tom Hanks. Like, I thought it was... Is it Philadelphia? What the fuck
Maybe.
is that movie called?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like... I
sounds something... Yeah, it sounds like
I thought it was going to be like Annie or some shit. Like, just some like family-friendly escapade.
Me too. Yeah.
So it's just so... Such a... crazy movie. It's so sexually driven and so just insane.
Yeah. Fucking bullshit.
Was that really how the 20s were? That would be crazy. I don't know.
For real.
Wasn't there?
So obviously.
Oh yeah.
So obviously you prefer
Chicago. Yes. Any day. I could watch Chicago like every day. But I couldn't. If I watched Moulin Rouge every day, I'd be dead within a week.
Same, honestly, from depression and tuberculosis. Honestly,
or whatever the hell she had. I swear they just made some shit up. It's like, oh, she has gonadaiitis.
TB. Yeah, it's just so stupid. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Yeah. Anyways, what would you rate these movies out of 5, each of them?
Chicago's a 5. And Moulin Rouge is like, I don't know, 2 stars, 1.5 star? I'll say 1.5.
I completely agree. I agree. Chicago is a 5. It is that fucking good. It really is so good. It's so enjoyable. And Moulin Rouge is 2 stars. I'll give it because it's Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, 1 star
and
for
the
each
one
of them.
fucking song. Yes, and the one song that's good in the movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so, Chicago, that's the name of the movie we're talking about. Chicago won Best Picture at the Oscars, and it beat the second Lord of the Rings movie, Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. I love the Lord of the Rings more than anything. But yeah, Chicago is more deserving of Best Picture than the 2 Towers, the second Lord of the Rings movie. Because of the 3, it's my least favorite. We'll get into it one day. Perhaps we'll talk about Lord of the Rings on the pod. The episode will be as long as one of the extended editions of the movies.
Yes.
But yeah, I adore Lord of the Rings as a whole. I'm not too fond of the 2 Towers movie. So yeah, compared to that specific movie in Chicago, like there's just no contest. Chicago is so fucking good. Like when I first saw it, I was like, how have I not seen this yet? How have I been blind to this my whole life?
Yeah. It is a good movie.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wow, they won a lot of movies. I mean, a lot of
awards.
Yeah. Moulin Rouge.
Oh, Moulin Rouge?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. What did it win? Best fucking bullshit?
Yeah. No, I'm so shocked. Every time I see that, I'm just like, how? Fucking somebody tell me. Anyway, so now we want to get on to our Patreon.
Yes.
We have a Patreon. And
it's true, I agree.
It's great. Yes, we have a Patreon, and we have 3 different tiers, and one of them is $1, the other one is $4, and the other one is $8. So if you'd like to contribute to us, it helps us pay for... It helped us pay for Kinka's microphone that he just got. Yep, we had to get him a new mic. So with the donations from you guys and things like that. It's really helped, and obviously it helps us rent movies as well. And we also have, we have our patron only Discord where we tell you when we remember what movies we're doing. So we'll do that right now. Actually, I will tell you guys what we're doing, and you get the podcast a week early, so that's always good. But yeah, mostly it just helps support us, and it keeps us motivated to keep going, and we love doing this for you. So thanks for supporting us. And if you want to say our patrons and our new patron we got.
Yeah, I will. Let me just pull it up because I kind of forgot to.
Do you want? Okay.
No, it's okay. I can do it. I got it.
Okay.
You did it last time. That's my turn, maybe.
Yeah, you can cut it. You can cut off this part.
Let's show the audience our true selves.
Oh my God!
It's at the end. No one's watching, anyways. It's over.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sam Lenz, which is our newest patron. That's the word. Our newest patron, Sam Lenz. Thank you.
With our B movie lover tier.
$4 tier. $4 tier, that's the good one.
Yeah.
Also $8 tier is good, but 4 is good too. Sam Lenz, Lucy and Voldy. 2 for the price of 1. Is that fair? I don't know. Should we change that? Water Bucket, Panda Bear, Legend Gaming, and Sam here, who was our first patron.
Yep.
And yeah, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And our next episode is our 10th episode, and we are going to be doing a live episode, live on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, 2 Movies, 1 Pod. You're probably watching it there.
Yes.
We're gonna be doing. We're
not gonna announce here what we're doing.
Okay.
If you're in the fucking Discord, you'll know. But yeah, it's gonna be really fun, and so we're gonna get with our patrons first because they matter the most, and see what day works for all of them that they can watch. And yeah, it'll be cool. We'll be able to interact in real time, and you guys can share your thoughts with us and answer, the questions that we end up coming up with. So yeah, it'll be really fun. And we've never done this before, so it'll be exciting. I'm really excited to do it. So yeah, keep on the lookout for that. Maybe we'll we'll schedule the live. Maybe we'll do that and let you guys know. Yeah, so you can see it on YouTube hopefully before then. So yeah, just keep a lookout. Follow us on our Instagram at 2 Movies 1 Pod, and we'll definitely post some updates there.
Yeah, well,
so,
it'll be roughly probably
sometime in June,
early to mid June. Yeah, that we know for sure. But specific date, stay tuned. Follow us on the fucking thing. Join the Patreon to be in the Discord and whatnot.
Yeah.
Stay ready. You never know when it could happen. Even though I just gave you a rough time frame, but you never know.
Yeah, it'll most likely be on a Saturday or Sunday, so yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, thank you guys, and let us know in the comments if you've watched either of these movies, and if you like them or if you don't, just let us know.
If you like Moulin Rouge, you have to explain yourself. You cannot watch this without commenting and justifying yourself. Okay?
Exactly.
You need to answer for your crimes. Because this shit, I don't understand. I'm flabbergasted.
Same. Make us understand.
Make us understand. Or try to make us understand.
Yes.
But anyways.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Later.